Welcome back, my name's Steve and thank you for joining me on my photography journey. Today is a relatively straightforward one, but one that is quite important. How do you update the firmware on your Nikon Z series camera? So I've seen that over the last month there has been an update for the Z5 and an update for the Z6iii. You update them both in different ways. So I'm going to talk you through how to do it on each camera, so then hopefully it will help you as well. So step one for the Z5 is we need to head to the computer. So let's have a look at that now. So we're on the Nikon website and we are in the download center. So this is where you search for your product. So mirrorless cameras, Z series, and then let's go for the Z5 first of all. And we want firmware and we go to a download page. And on here, you've got all the information you need. You've got what the changes are in this particular firmware version. Then you just have to accept, download, and that will save the file onto your computer. And then from here, you can put it onto your SD card of your camera, which then you need to put into your camera to update the firmware on. And now that I've got the SD card with that file on it, I can put it into my camera and do the next step so that it actually updates the firmware on the camera. So let's have a look at that now. So as I said, Z5 first of all. So open up the memory card slot and put that SD card in that has got that file that we've just downloaded. And then what you want to do is go into your menu. We are looking for the setup menu and then your firmware. So that is actually, as you scroll all the way down, or a bit easier, go into your setup menu, scroll once up, and that will take you to the bottom of the menu. Press OK to go into firmware version. And then you will see that there is now an option to update. So select that and press OK. And it will tell you, do you want to update? Going from 1.42 to 1.5. If you do, which I'm guessing if you're following this video, you do, press on select yes and press OK. And then it will tell you that it's updating and a warning, do not turn your camera off during update, and the update can take several minutes. So now what it's doing is all of that update in the background and it will let you know when it's all done. Update complete. Now it's telling me that the update is completed and to turn off my camera. So let's just do that. So now the moment of truth, did it work? Let's turn that back on. And if we then go into our menu, into our firmware version, and we can now see that we're on 1.5. So there we go. And we can delete the firmware update files from the SD card as we don't need them anymore. There we go, all done. So now I am recording this on the Nikon Z30. And I have the Nikon Z6iii in my hand so that we can have a look at what we're doing with the software update on here. So let's see if we can come into our setup menu again and then our firmware version. Now in here, I can see that we're on version 1.1 and there is an option to check for updates. So let's go into that one. And we can see that we now have the update from Nikon Imaging Cloud option. So let's go into that and that will update us from version 1.1 to version 1.11. Nice and easy. So the camera itself downloads the update, whereas with the Z5 we had to use the computer, put it on an SD card and move it across onto here. But much easier with the modern technology. So it's downloading the update itself, and then we'll install it as soon as it's done. And as you can see, once we're connected to Nikon Imaging Cloud, everything is a lot easier. We can check for any updates, we can install them automatically, and that means that we don't have to mess around with a computer or with a phone or anything like that. We can just do everything on the camera itself and do all the updates without any trouble. So it just takes a few moments to download the update and then it will install it automatically. And there we go, so the download has finished and now it's updating. So again, don't turn the camera off during the update. Update may take several minutes. We'll see how long it takes. So we're nearly at the end of our automatic update now. And I've got my Z6iii, and it is just finishing up that last part of the update now, and then we can confirm that everything's done. And like I said, we've not had to use a computer or a phone or anything like that. It's all done it all automatically on the camera itself, which I think is very clever. I mean, it's not. Phones do this kind of thing all the time. Cameras really need to catch up. Update completed, turn off the camera. And then let's turn it back on and check that we are in our menu, firmware version, we are on 1.11, so all nicely updated. And we can just double check for any other updates, but we don't have any, so there we go, all updated. So as you can see, those are two very different ways of updating the firmware on your Nikon Z series cameras, but they are both nice and straightforward. The Z6iii is a little bit easier. Obviously, that's using more modern technology rather than having to download things onto an SD card, transfer it onto your camera, and then do the update. So they're both fairly easy. It doesn't take too much. And then you get the benefits of the new firmware as well. So I hope you learned something from that. It's nice and straightforward, but if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Other than that, thank you for joining me on my photography journey, and I will see you again soon. Have a great week. Bye.